Okay, boys and girls, so I have gotten a lot of requests to do this Reddit / entitled parents story. I see that there's this YouTuber named Wise TV who has recently been blowing up doing that, and I've actually got, my own 2 employees that work for me, Bella and Ink, suggesting me to do these entitled parents videos, and maybe I won't get copyright claims and copyright strikes. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and give this a try. So if you guys think you guys are going to enjoy it, drop a like below, leave a comment, and tell me if you guys want to see episode 2, episode 3, episode 4 of just Reddit videos. And also, hit that subscribe button down below with the notification bells on to be notified every time I upload a video. I'm going to try to be on a good uploading schedule from now on. With that said, let's get into the first entitled parents story. This happened back when I was in kindergarten, so some details are a bit fuzzy, but the story is very much real. When I was in kindergarten, entitled boy came to class one day with chickenpox. This wasn't a mild case either. The spots were angry and red, and within a few hours, a couple of our classmates were itching. My teacher had immediately called his parents, but they refused to pick him up, saying that it would be good for the other children to be around and asking her to just leave him in the classroom. Now, wait a minute. So you're telling me that these parents sent their child to kindergarten with chickenpox, and when the teacher called the parents and asked the parents to come pick the child up, the parents said, "No, leave him in the classroom. I think it'll be good for other children to be around him." How dumb are these parents? Anyway, now, only about half my class had gotten their chickenpox shots at that point. My parents were really good about getting my brothers and I our shots when we were supposed to get them. But as this was early in the school year, a lot of parents hadn't got their kids vaccinated for chickenpox yet. To enroll in kindergarten at my elementary school, you have to either vaccinate your kids before the school year starts or within 3 months after. My teacher didn't know what to do. The office told her that if the parents wanted the kid to remain in class, she was technically supposed to let him unless other parents complained, or the principal deemed him a danger to the other students. The principal was over at the high school on the other side of the city. He was principal of both weird Christian school thing. He would rush over when he could, but because of the school handbook, the entitled boy had to remain in class. My teacher asked the school secretary to call our parents, but she only had home numbers for most parents, and ended up with a lot of answering machines. So, in kindergarten, everyone sat at table groups, and I was at entitled boy's table. He was carrying on like normal, yelling about Power Rangers. I was also the only kid at our little table who had been vaccinated. I remember feeling bad because one of the girls was scheduled to get her shot the next day. Talk about bad luck. Oh man, yeah, talk about bad luck. Imagine you are in the school, right? You're in school, you have a class with a kid who's been dropped off by his parents with chickenpox, right? And you are supposed to be vaccinated tomorrow, and you haven't been vaccinated yet, and now you're sitting at a table with this kid who's got a really contagious sickness of chickenpox. That is real bad luck, boys. Okay, so a lot of the kids at my table started itching, and the girl who was supposed to get her shot the next day showed me her arm, and she had very faint pink dots. I don't know if chickenpox usually moves that quickly or if entitled boy just had a super mutant strand, but I was freaked out. I knew I had gotten a shot that my mom promised would protect me from getting sick. But I was also 5 and still thought Stitch from Lilo and Stitch was a real being who lived in Hawaii. I was convinced that touching Entitled Boy would mean I would die from chickenpox. So my friends and I all avoided him like he had, well, the plague. Alright, so imagine being this little 5-year-old kid in kindergarten thinking that Stitch is still real, right? And you imagine that you touching your classmate is gonna get you killed because of the crazy mutant chickenpox that you think he has, right? This right here is how bullying starts. Anyway, so let's go ahead and move on. Finally, the principal bursts into the room and kneels down in front of EB, Entitled Boy. He asks Entitled Boy to please come with him so they can call his parents together. About 20 minutes later, the entitled parents show up. Shit hits the fan. Entitled mom starts screaming about how both she and her husband are licensed chiropractors and know all about the evils of vaccines and how vaccines give people autism. My oldest brother has Asperger's. If this had happened like 5 years later, I could have roasted the hell out of these anti-vaxxers for their stupidity. Entitled dad tries to calm entitled mom down, but also quietly tells my principal that as licensed chiropractors, they know and have seen how vaccines not only give children autism, but also make them gay. As a lesbian, I could have roasted the shit out of them and had this taken place years later. So, you're telling me that these two entitled parents that are both chiropractors obviously don't know shit about vaccines, and they're saying that vaccines are unhealthy and make your kid have autism and make your kid, you know, be gay, and I'm pretty sure that's all just life choices. People are judgmental as shit. Anyway, my principal firmly tells them that Entitled Boy needs to go home and can only come back when he is no longer sick. Entitled parents try to fight back, but my principal is firm. And Entitled Boy is dragged away from my class, begging his parents for a new Power Rangers toy. As the week went on, more and more of my classmates dropped like flies, until only about 7 of us remained. We were the lucky 7 who had been vaccinated prior to the start of the school year, and since most of the class was home sick, we got to play a ton of games and pick out the books we wanted to read. Usually the class voted, and we 7 were often among the outvoted group. After a few days, my classmates began to return. Not a red spot in sight, but it was a few weeks later that the real kicker happened. The entitled parents sent out emails to all the parents of kids in my class, painting themselves as the victims and heroes for exposing the class to life's natural vaccine. My dad got mad because even though I didn't get sick, a lot of my classmates did. The entitled parents asked for a thank you from the other parents, and needless to say, they got no thank yous and only a lot of passive-aggressive remarks and glares in the hallway. Man, these parents are dumb. So you put your kid into a classroom and give the whole classroom, aside from 7 people who are pre-vaccinated, chickenpox, and you send an email out to other parents talking about how you're the victims because your kid was kicked out of the classroom for getting everyone else, you know, sick, and how other parents should thank you because all you did was expose their children to life's natural vaccine. Nah, man, that ain't how that works. That's just not how that works. In my case, that would piss me off. There is no way I would be nice to the parent who got my child sick. Anyway, also, Don't feel too bad for entitled boy. He turned out to be one of the biggest entitled douchebags I've ever met. I went to school with him all the way up through high school, and he's one of the worst humans I've had the displeasure of dealing with. The entitled apple doesn't fall far from the entitled tree. Now, there's a too long didn't read version of this, which says entitled parents send their son to school with extremely contagious chicken pox and then expect a thank you when over half the class gets infected. So, that is basically the first episode of Reddit / entitled parents. I haven't came up with a title yet. I haven't came up with a thumbnail yet. I haven't come up with any of that. I'm sure, yeah, it'll all be there when you guys see this video, but I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you guys have, drop a like down below. Hit that subscribe button with the notification bell on. Also, be sure to go follow my Instagram, my Twitter, my Snapchat, and my Discord. All those links are down in the description below. My Discord, you guys can send me your funny entitled parents posts that you guys find on Reddit or any subreddit that you guys want to send me, because this is the direction I plan on taking my channel as of now. So with that said, I hope you guys have enjoyed. This has been Andaull, and peace out.